weekend. In the group stage, it was easy money for them. In the opening round, sure, it was close, but I don't think too many people really ever doubted at any point in that match that they weren't going to get the job done. It didn't come down to a set 5. They had a lead early, they held on to it. It's not very often we see guys like this in moments like this where they are down 2-0.
It's time for us to take off the rose-tinted glasses. We've seen Crazy Raccoon get some interesting drafts in here versus very meta brawlers and still get the wins, but that has not been the case at all for the past 2 sets. We've seen Zeta Division just run the good stuff, pretty much. The Chuck, the Meg, the Hypercharged Lou, it all makes sense. And Crazy Raccoon running just about the opposite, thinking that they can fend off what's meta right now, the best brawlers currently in the game, and it's all falling flat on its face.
I think Zeta Division know their opponents pretty well. They are not celebrating this one early. It is hard to take down these fellas. It hasn't happened too many times in history. All of them have made a grand finals appearance before. A couple of them have won one, some 2. But now Europe, with a lot of hope now in these semifinal stages, just need one more set. And Dry Season could be that set.
All comes down to Bounty. What were very quick matches before now turn into a 2-minute slugfest, or at least a race to that 20-star threshold. It all starts with who gets that blue star here on Dry Season, who gets to be in the driver's seat, at least in terms of who gets to play defense, the optimal way to be playing Bounty.
It's going to be an interesting decision-making process here for Crazy Raccoon. Like I mentioned a little earlier, and we talked about a lot, with Max and those kind of synergies, they've decided to run those a lot. And this is a map where it's certainly eligible, but if they run it, it's going to be a toughie into this meta. It's something that they got crushed by earlier, so they still have the confidence to go with that, or do they rely with something a little more consistent in our meta?
A question that will be answered in a matter of seconds, too. We can break down some of these bans as well. Look at Crazy Raccoon. They get rid of that Mortis selection in the tick first pick.
Wild here from Crazy Raccoon.
Cordelia is going to be a great way to get rid of any tanks that might be threatening here. Crazy Raccoon, if they wanted to go something aggro like Fang, will be shut down by the Cordelia super. Cordelia's also has some really good defensive options. Put someone in the Shadow Realm and then away, but also get some good assaults on people. Up here from the Shadow Realm underneath the most vulnerable target. Here it would be Tick, but Crazy Raccoon could still pick some more squishy brawlers. Zeta Division have opted to go with the Nanny here, which is going to be a great pick to face versus really any sharpshooter that Crazy Raccoon can think of, and Zeta Division still have a last pick to counter out anything that CR pick now.
I don't blame Zeta Division for not going thrower here. They're going to go ahead and pick up Nani and Cordelius on this 2-3 section. Look, they know Crazy Raccoon already have their thrower of choice, so why pick it early? It's very unlikely that they do it twice, so if they want to sprout towards the end of this game here, they can select it. But I think they're going to gain a little more information before they make that call. Also, if the other side wants to go with the wall break option, it will hurt in a sense and help out any of their sharpshooters if they elected to draft it, but they've got sharpshooters on the other side. It hurts Tick. Crazy Raccoon are certainly going to have some tough choices here, and Tensai selecting that Stu. Very interesting, and again, not one I'm used to seeing too often.
One that can also fare fairly well into tanks. Here's RT, a very tanky long-range brawler that is a safe option and is a great way to defend versus brawlers that like to get in close range. Just pop down the super and a few auto attacks and problem done and dealt with. But Tensai here, I wonder which gadget he's going to be using. Wall break would probably be suboptimal heading into that Nanny, but Moya can still take that matchup in long range. It would also not be that great for Tick, so perhaps Speed Zone is the best plan of action. It enables him to tank some damage too versus another long range, high damage brawler.
After your thought process, I think Speed Zone likely the best option. Gray going to be a final selection here. So they're going to stray away from any idea of a thrower, anything tanky. They're going to go with a teleport. Gray is a sneaky good option into those throwers though. A quick TP in, a few easy shots, and he's out. So I don't mind this draft for Zeta Division. I think Cordelius might have a hard time, but it most certainly could be anybody's game, and CR needed to be theirs.
I think Gray might be the way to get Cordelius behind enemy lines, deal with Tick in close range, get some value in here, especially with the super damage boost, force the 1v1. Let's get it started. It's all coming down to set number 3. Zeta Division, one set away from victory, heading on to the grand finals and sending Crazy Raccoon down into the pits of despair, away from Worlds with nothing to show for it.
Now he low HP, but actually gets traded out there. The blue star gonna be a reward for CR. A missed pull there from Kero as well. Moya keeping the distance here, lobbing up mine after mine. Tampo setting up the speed zone as well. Tensai holding on to a super already. They're in a strong defensive stance. Garo just trying to make something happen. Can't connect once again. CR, phenomenal start for them and even piling on an extra kill.
Good start here for Crazy Raccoon. They can afford to play the defensive. Might be difficult for Zeta Division to execute on this. Garo still does have some gadgets that he can utilize. A super would be massively impactful. Here comes a Tick super in. All it does is serve to bait out some shots from the Zeta Division members. No serious damage onto them yet. Crazy Raccoon are just going to be playing defense. And Zeta are looking for any opportunities to generate some offense. But really, the biggest benefactor of the timer is going to be Zeta Division as they look to use the clock to their advantage.
Speed zone going down. They're going to take their sweet, precious time, trying to dwindle this away. But they open up the map. That is huge. It makes things a little bit harder for Moya, but thankfully for him, he has this pronged 5-wall, indestructible in front of him. Garo, Meow, Naui, just going to let this clock trickle down. They want to get the last strike, and they want to walk away.
20 seconds is the magic mark. Means it's drive time, it's time to go. And Zeta Division patiently await that mark. Here comes the initial strike. The Peep now looking for a target, perhaps on his Stu. Shetampo dives right into it. Meow gets the kill. Zeta Division are still behind by just one crucial star. Moya avoiding all the damage. Meow looking for the ideal 1v1. It's versus Tensai, but Tensai's still on such high health. Meow's bound to pop out of the Shadow Realm and get a kill. Meow still needs to be taken down. He's running away. 8-7. Need to see a kill for Zeta Division, but nothing. Crazy Raccoon take a game win.
Crazy Raccoon can take a breath now. They finally have a game on their hands. Zeta Division still up 2 sets, and it was a very narrow call, but nonetheless, East Asia still staying alive for now. Game number 2, I'm sure, is going to be just as much of a sweat.
Signs of life mean a lot here for Crazy Raccoon. We haven't seen them take a game just yet. Zeta Division were on a roll, and now the momentum has been broken by a much more defensive mode. Already we see Tensai generate a kill onto Meow. They even had that blue star, but they're gathering insurance, at least until Zeta Division push them back into their home ramparts, which could be happening soon. They're losing territory quickly. We might fall into the same pattern as last game, where Crazy Raccoon take a defensive stance early on and maintain.
CR with the early assault on the Zeta Division. They're going to be the ones with the lead once again. Meow once again in trouble as well. A slide in and out. Tick Mines dodge there, but the follow-through shots available from Stu. Now 5-0 here. For the first time this set, it's Zeta in control of the base.
We haven't seen Crazy Raccoon have to go on the offensive just yet, but it's time to make it happen. Just 30 seconds left on the clock. Meow's looking for the backlines. He wants to get onto Moya. The jump over the indestructible. Moya's juking as much as he can. Big damage onto Meow, and Crazy Raccoon take the lead.
Great math there, and almost not worth it to a degree. The teleport back going for the long pull, I believe. And now it's all up to CR. Can they rise to the occasion and take a set?
Zetampo still dashing backwards. Now is the time for Zeta to push in. Peep once more, looking for the ideal target. Onto Tensai. Big damage. Now down to 5 seconds. Zeta have everyone pressed with their backs up against the wall. Damage needs to be coming in now. Zetampo taking lots of damage, but not enough to send them packing. And Crazy Raccoon take the set.
Gotta take it one at a time. These fellas are never ruled out. Like I said, you saw no signs of Zeta Division celebrating early. Every
bit of the nerves, because I think we can very confidently point out a poor decision to go so aggressively with Cordelius, since falling with Cordelius actually gave the lead to Crazy Raccoon. It's a case of having two birds in the bush and one in the hand, but actually there's only one bird in the bush and you have two in the hand.
I hate when that happens, ready?
Relatable.
Oh man, but another thing that's not relatable, at least for me, is playing against Titans like this. I don't envy the position of Zeta Division and closing out all the pressure, all the eyes in the world looking at you. And to be so close, 2 straight games to taking down Crazy Raccoon, to getting yourself to a match point. They hold firm, they stay confident, and they do so with a very unique composition that we're not always used to them playing.
On the side of Zeta, as much as I will criticize a very clear mistake, we saw some really good tech here, especially from Naui, getting the insta-kill onto Tick. He managed to make sort of a drive-by by the Tick, no contact, just bait out that gadget, and then circle around for the one-shot with autofocus. That was phenomenal.
Just the Shadow Realm plays too, I think tried to set them up for success. But look at this, it's 5-5, Blue Star, but they just traded out immediately. I mean, in terms of math, that's a bold decision. I'm sure CR had the comms there. It almost felt like RT was kind of following along his teammate there, being ready to go in case he was in trouble, because somebody like Tick, he has no shot at a chance like that. Cordelius is just going to close that gap and enter. But at the end of the day, it was only 1 kill separating these two teams. 1 kill separating a set.
And across 2 bounty games as well, really does emphasize just how close this is. With Zeta Division still being the lead set-wise, but Crazy Raccoon now starting to claw their way back from the pits of uncertainty. We're headed to last stop, and if Zeta Division can generate a win here, it will in fact be the last stop for Crazy Raccoon on the ladder to victory.
EMEA fans around the world are keeping their fingers crossed. Last stop, certainly a map where CR can run some max madness. But at the same time, plenty of other great options too. Again, this is the kind of mind games that you can play when you're some of the most skilled, if not the most skilled in the world. You can play to their strengths, you can play to the meta's strengths, and Zeta as a result, of course, is gonna have to make some tough decisions in the ban phase.
Well, ban phase is coming in. Any tough decisions here? Well, the Charlie ban was not, certainly. Here's a Tara first pick from Crazy Raccoon. Always going to be a viable option here, especially for countering tanks. You can run it on either lane. You can get good visibility inside of those bushes, and it's going to be great to get into those backlines, especially where the mid-brawler usually lurks. You just have to have something at your side that can help you deliver that brawler to the backlines. I'm looking at Max to make that happen. But Zeta Division have run it themselves, and they know that Crazy Raccoon really want this brawler.
I think taking Tara early rather than if they want to go a max later on also makes sense. It's very unlikely that Zeta Division would elect to select that brawler. Keeping my eyes out for somebody like 8-Bit who does show up along this map, especially since we have more limited bans and more of matching in that sense. They're going to select Buster with the first overall pick here, and Tara can do a good job, but keep in mind Buster has the tech to where that pull can unaffect him.
It's very true. Kevlar vest, that star